Brought to you by The Vault.
Hi, I'm Shy.
And I'm Kathy, and this is our Girlfriends Talk Show where each week we have fun and we spill the tea.
Or the wine. Be sure to find us wherever you listen to your podcast and follow us on social media.
Oh, yeah. Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 19 of Girlfriends Talk Show with Shy and Kathy.
19 Crimes is our, well...
No, they're not
sponsoring.
No, we bought it.
They haven't given us any money, but it would sound cool if they would come on board because it's our 19th show with 19 Crimes wine.
Right? Isn't that
Would you
cute?
like some?
I would absolutely love some. So you guys may notice, or you may not. It's whatever. But we got some new equipment.
Yes,
so
we are podcast official now.
Yeah, like we can't quit now.
Please watch us on YouTube so you can see our new equipment and you can see my Mardi Gras attire because it is carnival season here in this wonderful state. And since it is Mardi Gras season, last show I wore my white boots, beads. Today I'm going to wear my dancing gator. How you like that?
She has a dancing alligator bead for you guys that are downloading this on either Apple or Spotify and listening in your vehicle. So just use your imagination. It's really attractive.
Bead. Great
really
bead. Carnival
nice.
season. I'm so excited. I've been on a diet this whole carnival season. I haven't got to experience the king cake yet or a lot of beer. But coming up this Saturday, that will change. And I'm excited about that. And I'm taking Kathy with me.
Yeah, so I'm going to, if you guys don't know, you can Google Mamu, M-A-M-O-U, with the queen of Mardi Gras herself, the one to my left, Miss Shy. And I'm scared and excited all together.
Now, Mamu is a traditional Mardi Gras place. Traditional. So it's not the whole
Not
show
New
me your
Orleans.
boobs, give me some beads.
I
It's
can't,
none of that.
I can't show my boobs there.
I mean, you could. They wouldn't mind. Nobody minds to see your boobs.
They might.
However, it's more a traditional thing. So, like, to make a long story short, on Fat Tuesday, the parade is horseback riders. They start at 5 a.m. and they go through the town and they collect from the farmers different foods like chicken or a pig.
Because they're going to make a gumbo.
At the end of the parade route. So after they parade all around the farms of the little bitty town, they go down Main Street to the gumbo pot where their wives are awaiting to make the big gumbo.
Yeah, and I will tell you what they do in the interim between where they are and where they end up being is not politically correct. So really be careful if you Google or YouTube any of that stuff.
Yeah, just be open-minded, please. It's traditional and it's very fun. So don't frown upon it and don't give me any bad comments because I really don't care to hear them.
Wow.
It's Mardi Gras and it's a good time. And we're going to a bar called Fred's in Mamu, which is very historical. It's got a lot of history behind it. And it's a dive bar. And there are three things that we're going to do that says, that does not say Kathy. It says no, actually. But Kathy got mad because I didn't invite her. She heard that I was going. So I was like, well, Kathy, let's go over this.
I think I might drive myself, though.
We're going to a dive bar, Mamu.
Okay.
It's called Fred's, and it's not clean. You might. I hope you've got some penicillin on
What
hand
about a
just in
bathroom?
case. There's a bathroom, but okay. Be prepared.
Are you trying to talk me out of it?
No, I'm not trying to talk you out of it. I'm telling you what you need to be prepared for. You might have to go pee outside. Sometimes that happens.
I can't.
2, you cannot go up to the bar and order a vodka.
Grapefruit
With a little
Extra
splash of lime, maybe an extra on the side, because they will say, get the out.
I bet they wouldn't.
Oh, they would. They would.
Then
They'd
I
say, do you
told
want
you I would
hot damn
I'd show
or do you
them-
want beer?
Show them my boobs.
Okay, well, you can try to show them your boobs. We'll see if that works. Hopefully it will. You've got a bunch of old men in the corner that are playing squeeze boxes and little washboards, having a good time because it's a radio show that's done every Saturday morning. So you got that. You got Mardi Gras season, which, I mean,
I like Mardi Gras. I don't have a problem with it.
I beg you every year to play Mardi Gras with me. And you won't play Mardi Gras with me.
I just let you go do your own thing.
It was like me begging
And
my brother when we were
support you.
little to play Barbies with me, and he wouldn't. So
Well, I'm going.
you got that going for you. So anyway, and we're taking the kids. I'm taking my 15-year-old because guess what? In those neck of the woods, they're allowed in the bar because that's the way it is.
I think
it's all about culture.
We shouldn't be putting that on the internet.
It's all about dancing. It's all about culture. That's what I'm teaching my son, and it's important. Okay. It's very important.
Teaching him. Not teaching him, though, that you can get into a bar underage. That's not what you're teaching him.
No, not at all.
Okay. All right. Well, moving on now. Those are all reasons why Kathy is going to go on Saturday, and I'll let you guys know how that turns out, unless I don't come back, and then you can
unless she's got to stay home and take her penicillin shots.
Or somebody decides to pick me up after I show them my boobs. Anyway, so we told you guys at the beginning of this year that we have intention words. Hers is weird and it doesn't make sense.
Hakuna Matata.
But mine is love. And so each episode was going to have a thread of love somewhere in here, right? Mm-hmm. So we are 21 days and counting from the D-Day that is also known as Shy's wedding.
I'm trying to swallow my wine. That's hitting hard. I haven't been nervous.
21 days.
But we're almost down to the teens.
And we're talking 21 and counting. So it's 21 days until the day.
Don't get me wrong. I'm excited. It's just my dancing gators.
Nervous?
Yep. I'm just nervous. So 21
you
days.
Be. I'm glad you're nervous. If you weren't nervous, I would be really upset because...
Question. Do you have your minister license? You are my minister.
I am ordained.
So you got it.
In the Universal Life Church. Now, I just wanted to let you guys know.
Universal Life Church.
I'm a minister of the Universal Life Church.
Do you have an outfit?
I mean, it's going to be an awesome outfit that I have in my closet. Yeah. No, I'm not wearing a minister's outfit.
Oh.
Like a collar.
No cape or collar or jacket or like robe?
Do you want to make it really dramatic? Because I could like strip it off and have like clothes underneath it.
I do. I want it like, what was the Whoopi Goldberg movie? I want it
Sister
like that.
Act.
Yes. I want you to go all out. So for the
if
cheap,
you really do, I will.
For the low price of $40, you could become ordained at the Universal
Life Church. Honestly, it's free. You can go ahead and you can sign up for free. But if you need credentials, which evidently you do need, because somebody wants, if you're really going to legitimize somebody's marriage or solemnize somebody's marriage, the clerk of court wants to know that you actually can do it. Mm-hmm. And so, I had to pay $40 to get my certificate and my wallet size certificate.
So whenever we walk up to you before you start our vows, I need you to show me your wallet certificate.
You're going to see it before
so I can
then.
make sure you're legit. Okay, now
I might pull it out Saturday with my boobs.
That'd be awesome. Actually, that'll get you more hits. So we're doing this in Colorado. Now we know that they'll recognize a solemnized wedding there.
In El Paso County, which is where you're getting married, because I've already done all of my due diligence up there.
What about in the state of Louisiana?
I don't know. I have no idea yet.
So you may not be legit here?
I mean, I'm legit everywhere.
So if I get my marriage license here in Louisiana, I'm not going to have a legit marriage?
Mm-hmm. You're welcome. You won't even have to get divorced.
Oh, my God.
After 7.5 years of living together here, though, you are a common law, so... you would. Oh, sorry.
Well,
You'd have to.
It'll all work out, I guess, in the wash.
No, I don't know.
Trust
me, I will legally marry you wherever it is.
Do you have like your script and everything ready for us?
I literally wake up in the middle of the night and
write stuff
down.
Oh, that's why I chose you because you know April, my future wife. You know me, and I didn't want it traditional because there's nothing traditional about any of this. So I wanted it nice words about her, very nice words about me. And then it's just be a really nice, intimate ceremony.
It's going to be real, man. It's going to be real.
I'm excited.
Well, and I have been married successfully for 24 years. So,
yeah, I mean, you deserve to become a minister of the ceremony.
Yeah, that's right. That's what you get after you've been married that long. That and some really weird text conversations.
Yeah, those are weird.
Anyway.
I wish we could talk about those.
Well, we can.
Can we really?
Not today, but yeah, we can another day.
I need you to screenshot you and your husband's text messages so we can talk about that another day because Kathy is married and they do have sexting going on.
Would you call that sexting?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
really?
He used the BJ word. Yeah.
But he is doing that. I am telling him how much it's going to cost him in real dollars.
Well, you're doing the you're doing the hooker texting. He's doing.
No, it's called wife texting.
Okay. You charge him for everything.
Yes, I do.
It's so crazy. But I benefit
He
from
pays
it too. That's why tonight we're going to drink on him. Thank you, Kathy.
Take one for the team anytime you need me
please.
to. Anyway, so this podcast is not about any of that. And by the way, it's legal if you're married. So cops, don't shut this down. Or ATF or anybody else. So this really is about crazy stories, which I guess all of that probably falls in the category of crazy stories. Now, I know any of these crazy stories we share, this is a prologue to this podcast, but any crazy story we share is not going to be as crazy as the stories that Nina shared last week while I was gone.
She's nuts. And that wasn't even, I'm going to say those were G-rated. Nina was a bit nervous. She's never done anything like this. And just like our first 3 podcasts together, it was just kind of awkward. You know what I mean? But that chick right there has got some crazy stories.
Yeah, she does.
One day, we're going to put her back on here and she's just going to let loose. I'm just going to let her talk it out.
Well, she and I already talked about it, and she is going to come back, but we're going to do drunk history. And I cannot wait.
Awesome.
So I'm going to have to time it differently because I have a real job and I can't really get super tanked while I'm trying to work, but I'm going to try. I'm just going to shoot some vodka throughout the day.
I have nothing to lose.
Anyway.
So we're going to tell crazy stories.
I do want to thank Nina for filling in for me last week while I thought I was dying.
I think you almost did.
It was pretty bad.
I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, me too.
So I'm glad it wasn't the corona.
Speaking of coronavirus, one of the top Google searches, evidently there are people out there that are getting confused about what the coronavirus actually is. So it originated in China, in the Wuhan province, somewhere around there. And, there are lots
of... with the name, it originated in Mexico. This is all very confusing.
Well, evidently there are a lot of people that are confused.
For someone who doesn't watch the news and just sees coronavirus, I'm thinking it went and started in Mexico.
Well, there are people that are curious, and they're searching corona beer virus. So, yeah, corona... Nice. It's one of the top Google searches right now. I just want to let you guys know that the coronavirus has nothing to do with Corona beer. But it is possible that Mexico could have some serious tariffs implemented in the next few months, so they better be careful because your Corona is going to get real expensive.
Uh-oh. That's terrible.
Regardless, but that is a crazy story. So Corona beer virus is not a real thing unless you drink way too much.
So, yes, then you can get a virus. So, personal crazy stories.
If you live long enough,
you're
going to experience some crazy stuff.
And sometimes they're not crazy when they happen, but when you look back on it.
No, mine are all crazy when they happen.
Well, this one wasn't. I'll tell you real quick, and then we're going to come back with a bunch more. But my uncle.
They're excited now.
My uncle had a Bengal tiger from very small and raised it to very big. Yes, Uncle Brian.
And you have to have a special permit to do that.
This was in the maybe 1990, 1991. I was 11 years old. Anyway, the tiger's name was Sadie. So he
doesn't sound like a tiger name.
I remember him bringing the tiger over to my grandparents' house. And it was really big. As a matter of fact, Sadie jumped on me and put her paws on my shoulders.
Can you declaw Bengals?
She wasn't declawed. I mean, there was nothing. She was a tiger. I mean, it was like going to the zoo and seeing a tiger.
I don't know this story.
And I'm thinking that's okay. And I guess my parents thought it was okay too. I mean, there's a tiger coming at me and it just jumps on my shoulders. Whatever. I'm 11 years old. It's not going to eat my face off. No big deal. But it knocks me down because his paws are literally, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see my hands, but his paws were humongous. And on each one of my shoulders and just knocked me back, right?
Oh.
Well, he's at my grandparents' house. My Uncle Brian takes him inside. Sadie's walking through the living room with all of us. I mean, there's little kids. There's all the grandkids. There's grandparents.
Like a recipe for disaster.
There's a tiger just walking through the house. I mean, it's like a scene off a Hangover where there's a tiger in the car. It's no big deal.
In the bathroom.
I mean, it's crazy. So the older I got, the more I thought about that. I'm like, wait a minute. That was so dangerous.
It could have wiped out half of the Rudacils.
Why did my mom and dad allow this to happen? what was going on in their heads? Why did my grandpa, who was so protective over me, how did he allow a tiger to come near me? But, I mean, it was Sadie. So what happened to Sadie was...
she ended up eating a small child and had to get put down.
No.
Oh, okay.
That would have been a horrible ending to her life. But no, my uncle chained her to a tree. She had a big chain. And she was chained to the tree whenever she would go outside.
You don't need to tell this story. Because it's probably a crime. The name of the podcast is not 19 Crimes. We've already brought a kid into a bar. I could get accused of prostitution. And then,
this was okay in the 90s. It's just like all the stuff Nina did when she was a kid. It was all okay in the 90s. So whenever Sadie would go outside, there's not a leash that's going to hold a tiger, Kathy.
Really?
It's a chain. Or unless you have just
it's not a tiger leash?
I don't think so. I've never seen one at PetSmart. So the tiger's chained to a tree, and she's huge. She's full size. There's a dog or something that runs by. Sadie goes to leap after it and breaks her neck. I know, horrible story. But what they ended up doing was stuffing Sadie, and Sadie has stayed in the living room for years. So there's a big Bengal tiger laid out in the living room. Yeah, and it's all okay.
When we come back, I have a cat story, but it's not that crazy. Oh my God, really? How do I not know this?
I can't believe I've never told you that story. But yeah.
Y'all might want to come back next.
Who brings a tiger to Thanksgiving? We do. All right. Well, coming up, we're going to talk more crazy stories. That's on the way.
If I can top that.
Hey, you. Yes, you. Watching or listening to this amazing podcast hosted by two of the most dynamic and brilliant women you'll ever meet.
Advertise with us and watch your business grow as big as our heads.
Seriously. Hit us up at vault.news/contact and find out how affordable you can advertise on our show. I'm like, damn, that was pretty damn weird.
Think of anything of having a tiger.
How does it sound, by the way? Does it sound good? Okay.
It was just walking around, Thanksgiving dinner, whatever. Hey, Sadie, you want my ham? Here you go.
Yeah, I bet you gave her your ham. You gave her whatever she wanted. I know, right?
You want the whole turkey? Here you go. Yeah. All right, ready?
I guess, man.
Episode 19, segment 2.
I'm not feeling really confident right now. I feel like I'm in a men's locker room back in high school, and we all are showing our parts, and mine is much smaller than everyone else's.
Well, that's a letdown.
Your cat story is way better than my cat story.
Honestly, until I start talking it out, I never thought that was so crazy. And when I talk it out, I'm like, yeah, that's crazy. Who has a tiger walking around during Thanksgiving in the house?
I don't know.
That's just what happened in my little world. So anyway, about your cat story.
God.
Pete. Let's talk about Pete.
Oh, it's a horrible story. So my dad passed away about 15 years ago, but at the time that this story happened, it only been a few months. So maybe 6, 7, 8 months that my father had passed away. His name was Pete. And so
the cat or your dog?
My dad's name was Pete.
Okay.
So this little kitten comes up to our house, and we had a dog and no cat because I'd had a really bad experience with the last cat that I'm not going to talk about. But anyway, so this little kitten comes to our house. He's adorable. He's teeny tiny little black guy. And I end up naming him Pete after my dad, right? So Pete stays outside, and Pete is precious. And, we feed him. The boys end up loving him. We all love Pete.
Now, Pete's really a boy cat, right?
Yeah, he's a boy.
Unlike our friend Liz's cat, who she thought that it was a girl cat the whole time, but turns out it was a boy cat.
Pete was really a boy.
And they named it Catlin.
Kitlin. Yeah. No. Kitlin Jenner was its name. My cat's name was Pete.
So Pete was really a boy.
He was a real boy, and his name was Pete after my dad that had passed away, right? And so we literally, our whole family, including my husband, who is not a cat lover, we fall in love with Pete. We have, Pete's home is, his homestead is in the carport. We're taking care of him. Everybody loves him. About 3 or 4 months go by. Pete's still a kitten, right? I'm leaving for work one day. Pete had decided that he wanted to start, I don't know, acting like a little teenage cat and get under people's wheels.
Oh, no.
So I moved him.
Oh, no.
Well, evidently, cats are a little bit faster than people getting back in vehicles. And so I end up backing over the cat that I had named after my father.
That's terrible. That is terrible.
It's not funny. It's terrible. But the story goes on. So I have never hit an animal in my life, except for the cat that I named after my dad, that everyone in the family loved. And nobody's at home except for me, right? I literally have a nervous breakdown in the driveway. I leave my car halfway in the middle of the road.
And the cat
I
left it?
I ran inside. I'm trying to call my husband who works at a bank. And so I am screaming on the phone. He won't answer the phone. Imagine that. And he finally, like, I could not breathe. I was I was crying so hard.
Over a cat
That was named after my father, that everybody in my family loved, that is dead in my driveway. Yes. And my car's halfway in the road in my subdivision. Yeah, that's all going down. So I hear this knock on my door, right? And I'm like trying to get my stuff back together. I'm supposed to be at work. And I have cried every bit of makeup off. I probably had pulled half my hair out. Anyway, so I walk to the door and it's my neighbor. And he's like, I saw what happened. I saw your car in the middle of the road. He said, do you want me to clean it up? Well, by that time,
up. Oh, my God.
it was bad, y'all. It was real bad. Ugh. So by the time my husband gets home, by the time he calls back, my neighbor, who was amazing, ended up putting Pete in a box, and we put Pete somewhere else. But I made him come home. I made my husband come home and bury the cat in the backyard, okay, before the boys got home from school. I took the day off of work. I was that wrecked. Like, it was so bad. It was so bad.
Over a cat.
Named after my dead dad, yeah. So
Kathy does not just take off work, ever. She will run herself ragged before she takes off work. And you took off work because of a cat.
Named after my dead father, yes. So when the boys got home, they wanted to know where Pete was. So I'm like, oh, goodness, I haven't seen him today. I lied to my kid. Y'all, both of them, they're 28 and 23. Neither one of them know. They don't listen to this podcast. Neither one of them
don't know that you ran over Pete?
The story gets crazier. This is about crazy stories, right? So I'm like, I don't know where the kitty is. I'm not really sure. He's buried in the backyard, just by the way.
Oh my
anyway,
God.
A week later, I'm not lying, 7 days later, I hear meow, 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 meow at the back door. And I open the back door, and it's a black cat that looks just like Pete. Just like Pet
like
Cemetery
that,
Pete.
You had
No,
Pete too.
No, just wait. But have you ever seen Pet Cemetery?
Yes.
Because that stuff ain't funny.
No, it's
And
not.
so I'm like, I've lied to him. I ran over the cat named after my dead dad. I bury him in the backyard. And I'm like, it's back.
And
It's
here he
back.
is.
It's back.
Did he look all frazzled?
Wait
and
just
kinda,
1 second. So
kinda
I'm
dirty?
like, oh, wow, cute kitty. So I pick it up. It has 6 toes. Now, Pete only had 5, but this kitten has 6 toes. So I know it's not Pete. It's either Pete or Pet Cemetery Pete that's come back, but it wasn't. Anyway, so the boys come home from school that day, and they're like, oh, Pete's back.
Okay, let's back up a little bit. Who picks up a kitten and counts its toes?
Well, you can tell when they have 6 toes, they have weird little paws. Anyway, so the boys thought
I've never
Pete had
even
come
looked
back.
at my cat's paws.
Oh, well, anyway, so the boys think Pete has come back, and I'm like, yes, he did. He is back. They didn't know it had 6 toes. And so I'm like, yep, it's Pete.
Because nobody counts a cat's paws. Toes.
It's their little toes.
That's why your kids didn't know.
No,
Like,
they would have never known. But here's the bad
the
part.
average person would have never known.
I'm a cat person. I got cat fancy for like 10 years. Anyway, so the story goes on so Pete the cat's back, right? We're all just pretending, or I am. And this little girl comes up to the house one Saturday, and she's like, she knocks on the door. I'm not home. My husband doesn't know Pete's back, evidently. And so she was like, is this your cat? Pete, too. Is this your cat? And my husband says, oh, no, that's not my cat. And she was like, can I have him? And he was like, sure, take him.
Oh, no.
So Pete, too, went bye-bye.
What did you tell the kids then?
Well, then he must have gone and found another.
Wow. It just wasn't in your cards to have a Pete the cat. Cemetery Pete.
Is that dysfunctional?
That's pretty dysfunctional. But not as bad as your son getting bit by a bat the other day.
At work.
At work. That's pretty crazy.
Well, that's the whole inspiration for this show is my 23-year-old works at a gym. He works at an athletic club. And they have this amazing indoor pool area. But, you know, I mean, in the wintertime, it's chilly and it's dark, and baby bats need a place to roost, evidently.
Wow.
And evidently, an indoor pool area is a great place. But the problem is, as a person, you should never pick up a wild animal. I mean, I thought I taught him that.
Wait a minute. So he went to pick it up?
Oh, no, just wait. So there are these little girls in the pool, and they see the bat, and they're freaked out. And so he has to go be the hero, and he puts on rubber gloves. Now, not bat-proof rubber gloves, just rubber gloves.
Do they make bat-proof?
I don't know. I mean, probably, but they don't have any. Maybe they're going to get some now. So this bat, bats cannot see at all. Did you know that?
I did not know
They
that.
can't
no.
see. So they have sonar. They have their own, thank you very much, their own little internal sonar. Well, because the girls were screaming in that room and the ceilings are so high, sound was bouncing off everywhere, so it confused this little bat. And so it was on the ground, it was limping, but it was like hugging the wall. So Grant thought, well, maybe, this is my kid, maybe it's just kind of,
dying?
Disturbed enough that I can just move it. Yeah. So he picks it up. The bat bites him. Well, so there are 3 rodents. There are 3 animals that carry rabies. Like, evidently, they're the top 3 offenders. Bats are number 1. Possums are number 2. Raccoons are number 3. Or raccoons are 2 and possums are 3. Anyway.
So he ended up in the ER.
Well, he calls my phone Saturday night. And again, I was sick. And so he's like, I need to talk to Dad. And I said, well, you called my phone, so you can talk to me. And he said, no, I need you to put Dad on the phone. And I could tell he sounded kind of adrenalized. And I was like, you're going to tell me right now what's up? And he was like, no, you're going to freak. And so my husband hears my tone of voice, and he comes to the back, and I put him on speaker, and he's like, I got bitten by a bat, Dad.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, bitten by a bat, Dad? What?
Now, you do realize he will never age anymore.
No. And
He's going to stay the same age forever.
So my friends who've been, I will tell you,
He's
though,
immortal.
Rabies protocol is not fun.
He's going to turn white, and in the sun, he's going to be sparkly.
Yeah, actually, he's not going to be able to get in the sun. So my friends who've been very concerned about him, which, by the way, he's doing fine. He seems to be feeling fine. I said, the only thing that is a problem is we had to install his bed on the ceiling because now he sleeps upside down.
He is the Batman.
He's the Batman.
Who gets bit by a bat?
Did you also know that you can only get rabies treatment at an emergency room?
I did
because
not.
the immunoglobulin that they give you is so expensive that they mix it in the pharmacies in a hospital, and that's the only place they'll administer it. It's like
That is cool.
$800 a shot.
Wow. So does this mean that
He will be impervious to rabies. He'll be like
Sweet.
Grant the rabies fighter.
That's awesome. So, I mean, he could have as many old yellers as he wants.
Yeah, exactly. He could have rabid dogs and they'd just be his pet. Or Pet Cemetery Pete, which I really hope he doesn't listen to this.
That's awesome.
Y'all, they still don't know that I ran over their cat that I
Wow.
named after my dad.
Wow.
Well, I just want to say we're going to loop back around to the beginning. Our Urban Dictionary word of the day is, because we talked about getting married and the fact that I'm now an ordained minister in the Universal Life Church.
Like Lady Gaga.
Like Lady Gaga and other famous people. I can't remember right now. But anyway, so my Urban Dictionary word of the day is marry the ketchup. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not suggesting that you actually go marry ketchup unless you
use
love
that
ketchup like that.
in the restaurant industry.
Well, that's what it's about. So it's where you pour half a full bottle of ketchup into another half full bottle, so you have one full bottle.
you marry the condiments.
Yeah,
what
exactly.
you do.
And I mean, I could, if you wanted to marry a condiment, I could help you
could
with that.
marry it?
Yeah. So I'm going to use it in a sentence right now. So the boss at the restaurant asks, "Why are you here so early?" And the waitress says, "I wanted to get here early to marry the Ketchups."
And that's an Urban Dictionary? So this whole
It's
time...
actually the real Urban Dictionary word of the day on one, whatever today is.
This whole
2020.
time, I've been using an Urban Dictionary word.
Yeah, you're so cool.
I am. I feel better about myself now.
Hey, do you remember that one time? Here's a crazy story that I
At
met
band
Johnny
camp?
Cash.
Yes. That makes me so mad.
I know. That's why I brought it
Makes me very angry.
Oh, girl.
People like that don't really care about what's going on around them are the ones that usually get to experience the things that, for example, Johnny Cash is like my dude, right? He's my dude.
This was not when he was cool, though.
It doesn't even, he's Johnny Cash from day one to day die.
I do have to say,
he's Johnny freaking Cash.
Johnny Cash
So-
and June Carter Cash.
Just rub it in. So she gets to
I
meet
do.
him, and she's just like, that's Johnny and June. Man,
No, I mean, it wasn't cool at all.
Whatever.
The
It's okay.
circumstances were very weird. And like, I was like, oh.
And she
ugh.
even got to talk. You talk to
She
them.
talked to us. Yeah.
I would never get that experience just because. Well, I never will now. But I would have never gotten that experience just because I want to.
I don't know. I mean, you could one day. I mean, maybe he and Pet Cemetery Pete are hanging out at the same
They're in a
place.
ring of fire. No, not really. Anyway, so
Oh, our
crazy stories. Let's get to our girlfriend tip of the day.
All right. So our girlfriend tip of the day
Don't get bitten
is
by a bat.
yeah, that for sure. Don't pick a bat up. I mean, I thought that I taught my kids that.
Don't bring a tiger home.
That's not a good.
Don't
one.
grab a tiger by the tail. I didn't try that. I
Don't
should have.
name your pet after your deceased parent because if something bad happens, it makes you feel even worse. I don't know. Those are like morals of the story, the crazy story. But our girlfriend tip of the day is share your crazy stories and share your crazy with your girlfriends. And if you don't have girlfriends that you can share your crazy with,
Find one.
you got the wrong girlfriends.
Find one. Find one. Laugh about it.
Until next time, we want to make sure that you guys stay safe from bats.
Yep. Celebrate the carnival season.
And
Yay for Mardi Gras. Drink lots of beer and eat lots of king cake.
yep, and stay girlfriends.